Hi, I'm Bishop Nicholas Knisely. I am the Bishop of Rhode Island, and today at the Lambeth Conference we have been talking about Christian unity and interfaith relationships. And at one level these were sort of apple pie conversations. Who isn't in favor of ecumenical relationships? Who isn't in favor of better relationships between different faith groups? But at a deeper level, and particularly because we represent the breadth of the Anglican Communion, these are very important conversations. Because while we in the United States, and particularly in New England, are not suffering from any particular religious-based violence, in Africa, some of our Anglican Communion partners, some of members of Episcopal churches are under active attack and are threatened to be killed on a daily basis because of their faith and because of the community that they're connected with. We talked about how we in the safe parts of the communion can be supportive of people in parts of the communion where they are experiencing interfaith religious violence. How can we work to build friendships where we can in New England so that we together as Muslims and Christians, as Jews and Christians, can speak in a place where there is great violence? The first thing we talked about, though, was the question of Christian unity. 20 years ago when I started to become involved in ecumenical work, we hoped that we would have full visible unity between denominations, that we would reunite in some way into one larger apostolic and Catholic church. And that was the hope of our work with the Lutherans. It's been our hope of the work with the Moravians. And it's been the fond dream of our work with Rome. But that's probably not going to happen. We had His Eminence, a cardinal, speak to us by paper delivered by someone else because the cardinal was sick. But he talked about the difference between sort of the old style of unity and maybe a newer way of looking at it, which would be reconciled difference. The cardinal in his paper pointed out that the unity that we had sought was in fact the internal unity that Rome has within its own communion. And that's not something we're a part of. And maybe we shouldn't be so anxious about differences, but in fact recognize that there are ways that we can work together across differences. So those are my two big takeaways: the importance for us to work in interfaith relationships in the United States because of the support we can provide to people in dangerous places, and a rethinking of what ecumenism looks like. Instead of trying to get one single church, maybe thinking about ways that we can work across differences, very similar to what we're doing now in the Anglican Communion, as we recognize that we are separated by deep disagreements about human sexuality, but also recognizing that we can work together and have committed ourselves to working together to the maximum degree possible. The Anglican Communion in 1920, almost 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago, began the modern ecumenical movement, and perhaps this Lambeth Conference, with the work we've done on human dignity, may begin the beginning of a different way of thinking about ecumenism. And I'm happy and proud to have been a part of that. God bless you, and please keep praying for us here in Canterbury as this conference draws to a close. Thanks.